a few minutes. Wanted to spend a little time with you, ask a couple questions, kind of just think about, meditate a little bit, talk a little bit about what's going on. Because, it's hilarious looking at all these other channels and the things that they're talking about. And you can see that they said there's no truth in these other channels. There's no truth in these other outlets. And not just, just talking about outlets. And I'm not just talking about like places on social media. I'm just talking about anywhere, not attacking other groups or whatever else. You can easily see who the Most High is working with and who he's not working with. It's very evident at this point. And as you can see, the whole world is busy chasing apologies. Shalom, shalom. Thank you to the moderators that showed up. I know, because I know it's just kind of like last minute. Just had a little bit of time, so I figured, we just go live real quick and spend a little time together. But it's just funny listening to everyone wanting apologies. And that's what they're fighting over right now. Everybody wants to get an apology from the so-called black man, as if somehow we've done so many horrible things here, and that the world is in the state that it's in because of us. Like, why? I mean, if you want an apology for a couple little tweets or people supporting other people that you don't agree they should support, I mean, look at the status of the world right now. You got the Gentiles and the heathens running around right now with no understanding of anything at this point. Now, you got to understand, we have not been in charge of anything. No one cares. No one's cared about. Wow, that's crazy already, huh? Hopefully we're back now. You guys hear me now? Can you guys see me now? Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Queen Mommy. Thank you, DSB. I appreciate you. Okay. We have not, it's like, hey, we haven't been in charge of anything. We haven't made any choices. We haven't been in positions of power for anything. But now, like I said, look at the Gentiles. They are just like, man, is the rapture this week? Is the rapture going? Is it okay? It's almost Thanksgiving. Rapture's got to be for Thanksgiving, right? Okay. Hanukkah's on its way. Okay, that's got to be. I gotta get the hell up out of here. You see what I'm saying? Like they just want to be up out of here so bad. Things are getting really, really bad right now. I need to get my ass up out of here. I need to get raptured. I need to get raptured up out of here. I need to find myself a space shuttle so I can get to Mars. I need to find myself a space shuttle so I can go over to the moon. Anywhere. I need to get the hell up out of here. You see what I'm saying? Because they know, that hey, whatever's coming down the pike isn't going to be pretty. Whatever's coming down the pike right now is not going to be pretty whatsoever. But it's just funny how it's so important for them to get us to apologize because, I put this tweet out, or I thought I'm listening to Jalen Brown. I didn't know that was the IUIC, the Black Hebrew Israelites. I thought that was the Phi Beta Kappa whatever Greek society. I'm like, whatever, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the hate group. It's like, at this point, you guys got so much explaining to do. And you still think that you guys are in some positions of power. And the Most High is showing you every single day. He's exposing you more and more. Yeah, I saw that another mass shooting. They got these mass shootings that are just happening, again and again and again. They got their holidays right now, but you can just tell like the spirit is not in these holidays anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like Halloween, it isn't the same anymore. Things taken, not the same anymore. Less and less people are participating. Got Christmas, coming up. Less and less people, are in financial positions to enjoy it. You got a lot of truth that is being spread out that's messing with people's ability to just enjoy these times. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot more of our people out there saying, sharing truth, sharing a lot of truth. And that takes away from a lot of their ability to enjoy, their holidays. But, the thing is that we're in this situation, and the Most High purposely, hey, we were at the bottom. We've been going through our cursing this whole time. You guys have had, the other nations, the heathens, Gentiles alike, the people who've, even our people who've gone over there with them. You've had your opportunity to write history however you wanted. You've been telling the people who's who, what's what history is this, what history is that, what's not your history, what's your history, where you came from, where you didn't come from. Hey, Grace Senior there, Sister Didiya. It's like they've been able to do all these things this whole time. Now it's at the end, and now it's time for, the revealing, the revelation, and now all of a sudden they don't want anybody to look at them. So what they're doing is they're setting up people like us so that they can attack them and make them apologize. If anyone at this time is in any time of apology, it should be the Gentiles. Should it not be the heathen, if they could, or the Gentiles who have the opportunity to repent? Should they not be apologizing? Who really should be apologizing at this time? You see what I'm saying? But see, they're setting up our people. Like I said, you got to make sure you really pay attention to what they're doing. You set up, Kyrie. You have him share this link, to Hebrews to Negroes. Okay? You give all this fake rage and whatever else about him and about Kanye. And then you work out, you just keep on just pushing it. And eventually you get Kyrie to apologize. So everyone for the last few weeks has been worried about Kanye, but mostly Kyrie apologizing. Then you get IUIC to go out there to Barclays. And then you try to get, the reporters are all over Kyrie trying to get him to comment. People are like, hey, just concentrate on just playing basketball. But then these reporters come out. These people are just hate groups out here doing things in your name. What do you have to say? Yeah, exactly, Sister. Yeah, still trying to keep the lies going on. Exactly. And that's the thing. And so it's like, you got to understand, like, these people are in control. They have control. They have people on their side that look just like us that they control as well. It's nothing but exactly distractions galore. GG Love. Exactly. And that's exactly what it is. So at this time when all hell is breaking loose, everything is falling apart, their narrative is falling apart, if anyone at the time should be trying to apologize and cleave to the Israelites, cleave to the Most High, cleave to the truth, it should be the other nations. But they're going to take the distraction and switch that around and still try to hold themselves up as if somehow they are in the moral authority still, and that anyone who disagrees with them should be apologizing, because they still somehow think that they have some type of moral high ground. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, based off of what? Based off of what exactly do you guys think that you guys have some kind of moral high ground? You know, there are hundreds of treaties that you've broken. I said, I mean, you guys are not people of your word. You've lied about everything. You know, you've taken our history and given it to everyone else. You tell us that we're all from Africa, which is not true, which you can't prove. You know, you try to take these lands over here and make them seem like they're someone else's. You know, you don't let the people who are here tell their own history. You don't let the people who are already indigenous to these lands tell their own history. Okay, you've committed horrible atrocities. You killed hundreds and hundreds of millions of our people. But you still think that you are in some type of position that you need to get apologized to. It makes no sense whatsoever. You do what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there just listening to, like, I was listening to some dude from GMS who made a video about IUIC, and I'm like, bro, really? I mean, this is all just for show, and this is for, it's like, dude, look at the times that we're in. We don't need to be doing all this infighting with each other. You know, let the Gentiles are doing a good enough job going back and forth with each other. Let them do that. But they're like, oh, the Gentiles are fighting. Shoot, we need to make sure we're fighting too. We got to make sure we're going at each other also. You know, we don't have to all agree and have exactly the same doctrine on every little thing. Okay? Because we're not going to. We're all coming from different sources of information. If all you read is the Bible and you don't read anything else, then your points of view are only going to be limited to what you read. You see what I'm saying? When you think you read one book and you somehow have 100% of the truth, you know, I mean, come on now. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't even need to be wasting our time fighting with each other. Just do you. Do what the Most High has you do. And it shouldn't have to be always about trying to bring down other people, other brothers and sisters in this truth, in order to lift yourself up. You see what I'm saying? Like, you should not have to attack other people, other brothers and sisters in this truth in order to lift yourself up. If the Most High is using you, be happy he's using you in whatever capacity he chooses to use you. You know, I'm like that brother who was attacking IUIC. Dude, you could have went out to Barclays. You could have set up a little spot. You could have went up and shared your truth there as well. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, oh, these niggas go out here and they looking like, you know, they look a little too organized. They look like, you know, they got their, you know, they look a little too organized. So, you know, there's something going on there. I'm like, damn. You know, I mean, I hear that kind of crap all the time. Oh, you know, you read too much. You study too much. You know, you think you know everything because you read too much. You think you got that kind of, it's like, dude, bro, really? I said, ain't nobody here wasting their time gonna sit here and fight and argue because some people want to read more than others. You know, I'm like, hey, if the Most High's got them out there doing that work, that's a beautiful sight to see. I ain't gonna say nothing negative about that. If I don't agree with every single thing IUIC does, so what? They're out there, they're doing the work. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about them because they're out there representing and doing what they think, you know, is necessary. And I think the Most High, that he has them out there doing that. But I'm sitting here just listening to like other people and the truth talking mess about it. I'm like, dude, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But it's like, let the Most High use you for however he wants to use you. You know, I said, these are the times for, you can tell, like I said, just watch what they're doing. They're going out of their way to attack so-called black men and make them apologize, as if some have society. You see what I'm saying? They attack Kyrie, they attack Kanye, They were attacking a little bit of Jaylen Brown. And the thing is like this, hey, we're not in charge. I'm not in charge of anything. I don't make any laws. I don't execute any laws. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Okay? I haven't written any history books. I haven't been, sitting here like making any shows for, consumption for millions of people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you guys are going to have a lot to pay for. And you can tell, like I said, it's these demons that are out here right now. Just we talked about in Jubilees, how the Most High put demons and these spirits on these other nations to lead them astray. You see them right here. Right now is a time, you can tell we're at a time where you need to be chasing after this truth. But most people are going to feel comfortable because, oh, well, Kyrie said he was sorry, so therefore he must have done something wrong. So therefore I don't need to go and look at these videos. I don't need to go get any books because, whatever he apologized, so this information must be wrong. So I'm going to stay status quo and I was going to keep it moving. They're doing that to keep you complacent. And it usually doesn't take very much to keep most people complacent because they get really comfortable, because it's easy to not do anything. It's really easy to not do anything and stay, in that normalcy bias. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy to do that. But everyone's going to have to, everyone's picking sides right now. He's making even people that look like us, he's making you pick a side too. Yeah, many people don't want to do any research whatsoever, and so he's making everyone's going to have to pick a side. There's sheep and goats. There's nothing in the middle. So he's making everyone pick a side. You see what I'm saying? So just because it might be uncomfortable to pick a side, you're still picking a side with your silence. You're when you don't say anything, you don't stand up for anything, you're picking a side. And it's like, think about it. I mean, do you really think that this society is going to continue? You got Gentiles now that are pretty much, they've come to grips with this. This is a wrap. This they're just wondering how it's going to be a wrap. They know it's over. I'm just sitting here just looking at Off Grid. I'm looking at New York Prepper, looking at Canadian Prepper. Oh, you better, you got another month, you got a week, you got to get all your preps. It's like every video. It's the same things. I'm tired too. I'm saying because nothing follows through with what they say. Nothing follows through with what they say. Exactly. I want to go home. We're all ready to go home. However we're going to. They don't like me, apparently. Let me know when the sound comes back on, guys. Okay. Thank you. So they're looking at some of the videos. It's like you can just tell. I want to show you guys a little something here real fast. Who did this? I'm going to look at this book. This book was sent to me a long time ago. It's called Cities of Destiny. Cities of Destiny. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about Mexicans. What is a Mexican? Not what the Spaniards tell you. Okay? Not what the Spaniards tell you what Mexicans are, because what they do a lot of is they give you like a lot of like white European looking people who speak Spanish, and then they portray them as Mexican. Okay, they do that a lot in like their TV shows, like in their novelas and stuff like that. Well, they'll portray like a lot of like white European looking Spaniards as so-called Mexicans, right? Because in a lot of these countries, that's what they push. Okay, and then the indigenous people who were already there, they say, oh, well, they are all brought over here on slave ships. Okay, they do that same trick on like everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I do it, but in the Latin countries, I know they do that quite a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys a little something real quick. This is Mexico, Tenochtitlan. Okay. And I'm going to read a little part here. It says, in this detail from the Codex Borbonicus, a pre-conquest ritual calendar painted by Aztec artists for use in the priestly seminary. Huitzilopochtli is shown upper right corner. And he's like the sun god or the god of war, okay? In the aspect of Pinal, the fleet-footed Mercury of the Mexican pantheon. Okay, now, these are what the Aztecs are portraying themselves. This is pre-conquest. This is how the so-called, what you want to say is a Mexican, would have portrayed himself before the Spaniards showed up. Okay, so they're freezing me out again. Hopefully you guys can see it. Who is responsible for changing what the Aztecs? That's their god right there. Their god of the sun right there. These are what the Aztecs portrayed themselves looking like. This is what the Aztecs portrayed themselves looking like. And then their god up there, over on this side over here. So when you sit here and you know, I hear people talk about Mexicans or whatever else, and it's like, hey, look, what you're being shown, okay? What you're being shown is you're being shown pictures from your oppressors. They want to make it sound like your history started when they showed up, and that anything before that doesn't count. That's what they did with Columbus. Anything pre-Columbian, they did not accept. Who did this? This has been done worldwide. Do you not think you're going to have to apologize? I mean, you think this is not way worse than what supposedly Kyrie did? You see what I'm saying? Like, the stuff you're making the so-called black man apologize for is nothing compared to what you are responsible for. Broken treaties, stolen land, hidden history, stolen history. All these things are going to come with a price. This was a covenant made with Noah and his sons. You've broken the treaty, you've broken the covenant, and now you're going to have to pay for this. But you're worried about making Kyrie and Jaylen Brown and Kanye or these people, everyone else, so-called black men, apologize. That's what you're worried about. You're worried about making sure that our people that look like us, apologize for what we're saying. All the while you're staying mum and quiet about your history. You're staying quiet about the things that you're responsible for. Do you not see the hypocrisy of this? And the Gentiles, like say, you're not going to hear them come in here and try to give us facts. Cause I'm like, hey, this is information that was here before you were able to get your grubby little hands on it and change it up. Because then I have the Florentine codexes, and what they did with that was they just kind of made everything black and white and made everybody kind of look like, like white. Yeah, my knuckles are dirty. That's it. Accountability for them is frowned upon. Exactly. But us, we got to take responsibility for things that we're not even responsible for. So, the distractions are not going to work anymore. All the distractions that you guys have come up with, and that you've been able to use before are not going to work anymore. So all that kind of stuff is not, like I said, is not going to work. So you can say whatever you want. You can set people up. The other nations can set people up in order to use them, to make them, follow their agenda. All that stuff's not going to work. The Most High is going to expose all of that, making us fight with each other over, petty stuff. I said that's not going to work anymore. So because we're moving into a different time, like I said, either people are going to be moving along with the Most High, or they're going to get left behind. I mean, it's really going to be that simple. There's going to be a lot of Israelites that the Most High is going to awaken. There's going to be a lot of Gentiles the Most High is awakening right now. I said, trust me, there's a lot of Most High's got to make it uncomfortable for them, right? You got to get aware of the countries that they are supporting. You're sitting here, you're looking at the Ukraine. You're looking at that. What was that company that just went bankrupt? That they were talking about how Ukraine was giving them all this money. Was it Shaq was part of it? You guys remember the company that just went bankrupt? But they were actually, thank you, FTX. Thank you, Sister Didia. What was it that Ukraine was giving them money, and then supposedly that company was giving money back to the Democrats. I mean, it's like, it's telling, like, it's showing the Gentiles, like, hey, all these people that you've put your faith in, I said, they are lying to you about everything. They're lying to you about everything. These countries that it's like, it gets to a point where you really can't defend this stuff anymore. Now, what are you going to do with that? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like before it was like, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, die hard, whatever else. No matter what my team does, I can see past that. But see, now it's getting to the point where it's like, damn, I mean, I've been supporting these people, and this is what they do. I'm in a horrible position. I can't pay my bills, this, and that. But we're just running money over to the Ukraine, no questions asked, no nothing. And then come to find out, they're putting it in these companies and shipping it back over here. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and then in order to appease people, they got to make it seem like, they're running these stories about, well, this person's about to attack this person is losing this war, and that person. I mean, it's like, dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to see. And then, I mean, I don't hear nothing about the churches. I don't know what you guys hear. I don't usually pay attention, but I mean, usually you would hear, some sermons, some, hey, things are going to get better. Put your faith in Jesus and study and things. I mean, I don't hear anything from the churches. So it's like you put your faith in an organization that's got no answers for you. I don't see how you can supposedly be a faith-based organization and say that you have the truth, and then you're quiet. You don't say anything. Where are the churches talking about the Israelites? Where are the churches? I mean, hey, dude, the churches should be able to come out, make videos, and just debunk all the information that the Israelites are bringing out. They should be able to debunk all the information on the Hebrews to Negroes videos. right? They should be able to come out and just debunk all that, because hey, that's the strong arm of this society. They are paid to know that Bible frontwards and backwards, right? So they should be able to come out here and just debunk all this information that's coming out about the Israelites. But we get the opposite. You get nothing. That's true. Ish is also silent. I mean, they've all been silent for such a long time. Because I would love to hear the churches, come out and kind of, hey, this is wrong or that's wrong, and the Hebrews to Negroes, or the Hebrews, they got this wrong or that wrong, but we know we don't hear anything. Nothing, but we don't hear much of anything, and they want apologies. All the while, are the churches apologizing for pretty much okaying slavery? I said they set up these churches to okay slavery. Have we heard any apologies for that? That's why these churches were set up, in order for them to be able to make us like 3/5 of a man, in order for them to be able to rape our women, and enslave our men, enslave our children. Because we were not considered equal, we were not considered human beings. And the churches allowed that. That's what the churches were set up for. So I haven't heard much. I haven't heard anyone apologizing for that. Still in history. Still, like I said, just showed you right there. Explain that away. Explain how those pictures right there were how the Aztecs. Those are what the Aztecs thought of themselves. That you think so-called white Aztecs are going to draw themselves black? You see what I'm saying? So like I said, it's like you got a chance to look at the pictures before the Spaniards got here, before they got here and had their opportunity to change, to supposedly burn all of our records because they were witchcraft. You see what I'm saying? But no, they had to burn them so they can come up with a new history, so they can make it seem as if the white Europeans were the ones that were here the whole time. Or that, you're Mexican if you speak Spanish. You're Brazilian if you speak Portuguese. Still trying to, bring the influence of their countries, their European countries, over here, making it seem as if they've always been here. But like I said, those are the times that we're in. Now you're seeing why it's been so important for them to try to make us apologize, because they're trying their best for them to not have to apologize. You know what I'm saying? They know that they're going to have to apologize. They're going to have to repent. And for last call pretty much is for us to repent. For us to say we're sorry. Or I guess we got to say we're sorry for getting enslaved. We're sorry for our women getting raped. We're sorry that you've had all this time to destroy our people. So on top of you doing all these things to us, we got to say we're sorry at the end too. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Hey, Sister Lisa, great seeing you. Like I said, it's time. It's like it's stop the. Well, like I said, it's the fighting, but the Most High He's the one who's going to eventually bring us together. The Most High is the one who's going to bring us together. He's going to show the true hearts of the people who have been wanting to follow Him, and the ones who have been into this truth for vainglory or whatever else. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, the Most High gets all the glory. Everything that's happening is for the Most High. He controls the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So this movie is playing out beautifully. I was cracking up when the reporter was talking to Kyrie and says, "Man, there's like maybe 100 people outside Barclays tonight from the IUIC or Israel United Israel. 100. Yeah, you love how the reporting's always diminishing our numbers. Just like we're only 13% of the population. We've never been able to ascend more than 13%. There's only 100 of them outside of Barclays. If there was only 100 of them, why would you even be mentioning it? Why would you even be worried about it? You see what I'm saying? But it's always like that. Always trying to demean and diminish our numbers. That's why I said, that's why, how do we know how many people they really killed when they got here? You know what I'm saying? Like they always try to make it seem like it's way less. I said, that's why we had thousands of years without Gentiles coming in here and messing with our numbers. They didn't have a chance to get in here and mess with our people. You imagine how many kids we would have had? You know how Jake does it. Jake would have been just having babies left and right? So you imagine how many children, how big our population must have been from Canada all the way down to the tip, of South America. You go into Antarctica. You imagine how many people there must have been here. Could you even imagine? So they get over here and we were giving it to their hands. But like I said, I don't believe they got all of them. I believe some of them went underground, went to the subterranean levels. And I think that's who they're afraid is coming back. You see what I'm saying? Like I read that book and it's talking about he was afraid because he knows eventually the people who are in the subterranean lands are going to come back out. And if they're going to destroy the people on the surface. And it's crazy because all of a sudden you got all these movies subterranean world and wanting to come to the surface. People want up surface and wreck shop. That's exactly what they were talking about with Namor or Kukulkan. He's like, wanting to come up to the surface and destroy the surface world. You know what I'm saying? They've enslaved our people. They've done this. They've done that. He has no love for the surface world. So you start to think, who's down there then that's got all this, pent up rage for the people on the surface? Because remember, when the Spaniards got here, they found a lot of abandoned cities. And they say, we don't know where they went. We don't know these huge cities, and we don't know where they went. We don't know where they where they ran off to. Don't know where they went, but they're just gone. Well, I'm reading some other books, and it kind of talks about like how the natives, the Aborigines, knew that the Spanish were coming, and that they had brothers like from the Palladians. I gotta make sure I get the name of that book and I have to show it to you guys because it was shared with me. Probably the Prophecies of the Palladians, something like that. And that's pretty close to the name of the book. I didn't think I brought it with me, but they're going to go down. The Palladians were going to help them actually go down underground as well. The book is supposedly fiction. Now, I don't believe a lot of these books are fiction. I believe a lot of them is the Gentiles got our records. They got our information. They write these books as fiction. Okay? Because look at them right now. Do they look like they're in some kind of position to be like the great thinkers where they come up with all these ideas on their own? Or do they just steal our information and just rewrite it and give it back to us? That's what they've been doing as of recently. Why would that not be what they would have done before? So just think of it. If our people knew the Spanish were coming, their Palladian brothers were coming over here to help them set up a subterranean society, and then eventually, after we go through our time of punishment, they come back up from the being underworld, the subterranean world, back to the surface. Makes a lot of sense to me, because the other nations have been confederate to not let you know the information about the openings at the southern end of the world or the northern end. They don't let you go to Antarctica. You know, the whole that huge iceberg that's hundreds of miles wide, 50 miles long. And if there's, where'd that come from? How does it, where's all this fresh water coming from? You know, all these things are the most, like the animals, when it's time to migrate, they migrate north. They migrate where the weather should be getting harsher. The weather should be getting worse, but that's where they migrate to. Like, we got to read the signs of the things that we see. Like the Eskimos talked about how they came from the north, right? Look at the animals now. We got the sheep that are just walking around in circles for what is it now, 14, 15 days? I saw the other video, I want to say it was it ducks that were just running around in circles around a car? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole lot of signs that the Most High is leaving out there. So the Most High has given us all these signs. He's leaving all these signs all over the place. And the vast majority of the world is going to be too busy worrying about apologies from Kyrie Irving. And they're going to miss all the signs of the things that are happening, you know, right in front of their faces. Yes, lots of activities in the skies. Lots of activities inside. Lots of chariots being sighted. You know, Most High giving us information about the hollow earth. And it was talking about in that book how the Palladians who were coming to help were blue. You know, and they were sun gazing, had an area on their ship for sun gazing, because that's how they got their nourishment from the sun. And they got, you know, and the thing is that, and we talked about with that video about the blue people representing the so-called Negroes or whatever else as well. Blue and green, the Hulk. It says, like I said, you start putting all this information together. You start getting all this information. Yeah, I saw about the meteor showers. You know, you sit here looking at Paul Bagley talking about the meteor showers and, you know, all these things that are happening and these earthquakes, and, you know, you start seeing them doing all these videos. But like I said, you can see the Gentiles are very reactionary. You know, they're reacting to all these things, and it always goes back to, well, put your faith in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is going to take you away. And why Jesus ain't taking you nowhere? Why Jesus already brought you to your heaven? Your heaven has been this surface world. You've been able to do whatever you want here on the surface world. You've been able to lie about everything, make up history about everything, not tell people the truth. I said, but now we're coming to the end of that. No, I have not heard of Bro Sanchez. So, but is it not, like I said, it's beautiful to see how the Most High is working. You know, I said, there is no, we're not going back to status quo. If anything, things are going to get nothing but worse. I feel that from what I'm seeing is things are getting worse, yes. But when the Most High, from what it looks like with the, if the apocalypse of Elijah is correct and he removes his people, you know, the angels show up and they remove the people, that's when everything hits the fan for the Gentiles. See, they think that they're going to be the ones going to get raptured away, and that we're going to be the ones that are going to have to stay and deal with everything. And I'm like, bro, you have not dealt with anything yet. You guys have been in your blessing this whole time. It would make more sense for the people who have been going through all this death and destruction, for them to get removed, and then for you then to be going through your recompense. That makes much more sense. And when you have your opportunity to cleave to the Israelites, you won't take advantage of it because you're too busy. Can so-called black man apologize to you? Exactly. We already went through our hell. Talked about that for a very long time. We've already gone through Jacob's trouble. And you still got people set up that are supposedly in the truth. They're talking about Jacob's trouble about to begin for us. Even though we've been going through Jacob's trouble this whole time. Exactly. People should be repenting. They should be repenting for themselves, as opposed to trying to get the so-called black man to repent to them for hurt feelings. Most High is going to do hurt a lot more than your feelings when he cracks those skies open. The Most High is going to hurt a lot more than just your feelings when he returns. So should you be worried about hurt feelings right now? Or should you be repenting and asking the Most High, to give you the opportunity to follow him? He's given everyone their opportunity. Last call. You got your opportunity here to see this truth again, right in front of your face. And then, are you going to study to show thyself approved? Are you going to wait for the pastor to give you a breakdown, which, as you can tell, they're not giving you anything. I just don't know how you could, at this point, trust anything that these pastors and priests say when they don't say anything. Well, they don't say much of anything. But how you can make, excuses for them. But the Most High is giving you your opportunity because, like I said, it's gonna be a crazy day, because when you start looking at Revelation 11 and how when the Most High raises up the two witnesses, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom, makes them go up. As soon as they go up, that's when all of a sudden the huge earthquake hits. And you start going into other books like the Apocalypse of Elijah. It goes even to more in depth about you talk about how the people turned against the devil. They're like, you made us an enemy to God. You made us an enemy to God. Even if we want to repent, we can't. So you can't even save yourself. That's what's talked about in there. Like I said, so it goes more in depth as far as what's going to be going on. So, does he remove his people? These are questions to be asking. This is what happens when you get into other books. Does he, Revelation 11, he raises up his people. Then there's a huge earthquake. Then you go to Apocalypse of Elijah. Then all of a sudden the people turn against the devil because they realize that they've been lied to. And then now they're like, okay, I will listen to these people. If you can find me one Israelite now, or if you find me one of the sons and daughters, I will listen to them. I want to be taught now. But then it's too late, because there's no truth in the world anymore. Then the water's all gone. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to go to these other books and start putting this information together. Is that when possibly the people who are down in the subterranean world are released? These are just questions. No one's saying that this is exactly how it's going to happen. But see, the Most High starts bringing all these puzzle pieces together. And now it's time to start asking these kinds of questions. Is this kind of like how it's going to be? Is this what we have to look forward to? Is this what, Because I said, there's all this information that the Most High has spread everywhere. And now as we get closer and closer, you start to see things. Like you said, you can't go to the Gentiles and ask, for their understanding, because they don't have any. Because the Most High, now we understand. Now you understand why you can't go to the Gentiles and ask them. The Gentiles are the heathens. You know why you can't go to them and ask them for help. You can't ask them for direction, because the Most High said in Jubilees, he put lying spirits on them to lead them astray. So if the Most High put lying spirits to lead them astray, therefore then they don't have any truth in them, right? And then that is confirmed in Jeremiah 16 and 19, when the Gentiles come to the Most High and say, our fathers have inherited lies. You see what I'm saying? So the whole story is coming together. So now if you realize that the Gentiles don't have the answers, then you need to go to Psalms 147, 19 and 20, where it says that the books and these writings were given to the Israelites, and that he has not dealt so with any other nation. Once you understand that, then it's like, okay, well, no, it's imperative now for me to figure out who are the real Israelites. Because the real Israelites are the only ones that are going to be able to break down this information at the end. And no, it's not just going to be the information in the Bible. They're also going to be able to go into other books, because then you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 14, where it says that the Most High gave a set of books to a certain group of people, but then he's going to give more books to another group of people. So therefore, and then they're going to be a stream of knowledge for the people, for the world. So now you can't be stuck just talking to the people who are only on one book. Now you need to be finding the ones who the Most High is blessed with not only just understanding of the Bible, but also the understanding of other books. And then those people are going to be able to read not only books about the future, but they're also going to go into books of the past, because the books of the past are going to be, you know, kind of like giving you information, understanding about what's going to happen in the future. You see what I'm saying? Like this is way deeper than anything that, you know, we thought before. The Gentiles have always tried to oversimplify things because they've been given spirits to lead them astray. If they've been given spirits to lead them astray, then therefore they have to oversimplify things because they can't deal with deep things. You see, these are just kinds of things that I think about. You know what I'm saying? This is why this is where it tells you about study to show thyself approved. This is very important. This is the books, these other books connect with the Bible, but they also go into more depth and give you more understanding. But see, what does the Gentiles do? Oh man, just make sure that Kyrie apologizes. That's it. That's all that matters. He apologized. He can play some basketball now. He can entertain me. Now everything's good. Like, okay. You know, and I said, all this information, I said, is not just given to one. It's given to a few of us. Men, women. Most gives, you know, he gives us information. Sometimes someone will say something. Someone will send me something, you know, and it'll connect. It'll be something that the Most High kind of put in my mind to kind of think about. And then all of a sudden, someone will send me something. And my email again is tribeofjudah0@gmail.com. So again, tribeofjudah0@gmail.com. Okay. And then you'll see movies that, like Black Panther 2, that confirm things that you read in other books. You see what I'm saying? Most High is giving information and knowledge, understanding, I said, to, you know, our people on different levels, men, women. I said, eventually our men and women are going to come together. I said, and that's going to be all hell's going to break loose then. I said, when our people are actually working together as opposed to fighting one another over trivial things. And that's why I don't argue with people. Like, you know, like I say, hey, some of the camps, they pretty much only go in the Bible. I read other stuff other than just in the Bible. I can confirm that that's what I'm supposed to be doing because that's actually in our Bible as well. I said, but exactly the 100 monkeys experiment. So you start, you know, but I don't like sit here and like attack other people that don't do it, because that's maybe not what the Most High has them do. The two sticks kind of come together. When the women and the men start working together, thinking together, coming on one accord, that's why it's been so important to keep us fighting over trivial things. You know, I love seeing, I can't wait for our people to come together and work together. The men being in order, the women being in order, the children being in order, and being that light for the whole world. That's what I look forward to. Don't care about who gets credit for this or who gets credit for that, because really none of us get credit for anything, because the Most High gets credit for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not care about any of that whatsoever. You know, like I want the Most High's will to be done, because if His will is done, everything will be beautiful. If the Father's will is done, then everything will be perfect. And like I said, it was beautiful seeing, you know, the brothers and sisters coming together and doing something positive. Even if the other nations are going to say negative, of course they're going to say things negative. You don't think that the Egyptians were saying things negative about the Hebrews when they were going through their curses? When the plagues were falling on the Egyptians, you don't think that they were saying a lot of negative stuff about the Hebrews at that time? You don't think, every time the Most High, sent David out there to destroy another group of people, that they weren't pissed off, people weren't saying stuff about them? You remember, like I said, that one of my favorite stories was in Jasher, was when the Hamites were all coming to fight against the Israelites after they had raped the sister, Dinah. And they said, hey, there was only 100 of them. The 12 brothers and a couple of their servants and there was hundreds of thousands of the other nations that had shown up to fight. And then their advisor said, hey, you know that you're not coming to fight against these 100 men. You know that you're coming to fight against their Elohim. And that all of you, it doesn't matter how many of you are here, hundreds of thousands of you, all of you are coming to be destroyed today. Because you're not going to get any victory over them as long as they're with their power. You don't think that those people were talking mess before they came out? When they saw the 100 of them and they saw the hundreds of thousands of them, you don't think they were talking mess about, oh yeah, we about to get up in them, we about to destroy these people? And all of a sudden, their advisors told them, hey, you guys know what you're coming up here for. So like I said, just make sure that we think about who we're doing this for. This is for the glory of the Most High. He don't need huge numbers. He don't need huge amounts of people. He's gonna get all the glory. You know what I'm saying? So when you understand that, then it's like, hey, we're here to be used by the Most High. If we make it to the end, beautiful. If he decides to take us before that, beautiful. Everything is ultimately the Most High's plan. We can't see the beginning from the end here in this plane. So whatever the Most High wants, that's what's going to happen. And ultimately, this is his game, this is his movie, and whatever he wants is what's going to happen. That's why I love watching the movie play out. I pray, however the Most High wants to use me, in these days. If he decides to take me home beforehand, so be it. I said, if I'm here while things are going on, so be it. I said, ultimately, it's the Most High's plan, right? Just like before the flood came, he was removing his people before that happened. He removed Enoch, right? He was removing people before the destruction came. So like I said, everything is on, and the vast majority of the world was unaware of what he was doing. Okay? So like I said, everything that happens right now is the Most plan. Either way. So we're gonna see the end no matter what. We might see it from this plane. We might see it from the next plane. We might see it from the next life. We might see it from 3D, 4D, 5D. Might be moved to the subterranean. Who knows? But ultimately, the Most High is in charge of absolutely everything. And it's beautiful to be born and to be used at this time. Just imagine how many of our brothers and sisters would love to be in your position right now. Would love to see the things that you're experiencing right now. Love to see the Gentiles running around chasing their tails with no understanding whatsoever. Loves to see them trying to, get people to ignore the fact that they're going to have to apologize, by making us apologize. They're trying to put all the heat on us needing to apologize in order to take away from the fact that they're going to be the ones that need to be apologizing. They're the ones that need to be asking for forgiveness. And that's okay. This is your heaven. This is as good as it's going to get for you. This is as good as it's going to get ever again. It's not going to get any better for you ever again. It's only going to go downhill and get worse. So what you do with it, what you do with your last minutes or whatever else, That's up to you. But just know that the Most High is giving you your opportunity to repent. He's giving you an opportunity to hear this truth and to repent. You know, we put all this is on this video right now. We put all these scriptures together. We've put all this information together. Now you take it and you go and, hey, research what I just said. Research the scriptures that I just gave you. Put them together. See if it makes sense to you. See if you can debunk it. You're going to realize real quick that you're not going to be able to debunk any of the stuff that I said as far as scripture was concerned, because you probably never even heard of half of the scriptures before. And you probably haven't even heard of some of the other books that I was referring to. But that just shows you that there's way more that's going on here than what meets the eye. There's way more that your pastors have not told you and that they have refused to tell you this whole time. So like I said, I know that you're not going to be able to rebuke or debunk any of the stuff that we just said. I said because you haven't studied. You haven't studied to show yourself approved. So therefore, you're not going to be able to debunk the information that we just brought out. What are you going to do? You're going to use a Gentile scholar that says, oh, well, the Gentile scholars or the church fathers did not agree with those books. So therefore, since they didn't agree with those books, we don't accept those books either. These same church fathers that have lied to you about absolutely everything, these are the church fathers that you're going to trust that they told you the truth. The same church fathers that took out Acts 29 that could have shown you how you connect with the Druids. Those same church fathers, okay. And if you want to believe in the Gentiles have told you the truth, be my guest. These same Gentiles who refuse to apologize for anything that they've done. I said these same Gentiles that they refuse to acknowledge the stuff that they've done. Oh, well, then that's your choice. So we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to spend a little time with you guys this morning. Had a little bit of time. I'm glad we got an opportunity to get here, and Spirit was working heavy and giving us some information and making some connections. And that was a beautiful time. And hey, for the Gentiles and the Israelites that are here right now, go back, look at the comment section. We got a lot of very intelligent, blessed brothers and sisters that are here that are sharing information for you, sharing information with you that you can go back and you can go and research. That's the thing. It ain't just me. I said it's the whole community, and there's a whole lot of people here who are very well read, who have the Spirit. They're Spirit filled. They got the Spirit in them, who give a lot of great information. Go back and look and study for yourself. Don't take my words for it. I says, go and study on your own. All right. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who was wisdom? Who was Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.